Hello, and welcome to the Love Your Work Life podcast. I'm your host, Elissa Shuck. Whether you're going for that next promotion, looking for a job, or making a career pivot, I'll teach you how to navigate it all so you can have the career you want. This is episode 67, part 2 of Open More Doors. A job search has a way of exposing a whole bunch of things. Oftentimes you find these feelings of loneliness, inferiority, you feel vulnerable. And why do we feel this way? We feel this way because we're thinking things like, what am I doing wrong? Something must be wrong with me. Why isn't anyone responding? Those thoughts, of course, are going to lead to those feelings, and those feelings are going to lead to inconsistent action, right? Because you don't want to have to face that. I remember days during a lengthy job search, and I'm talking, around the 4-month mark, where I would sit down to do the stuff and I would just stare into space for a while. Or there were days where I just broke down and cried because I just could not make myself do it again. I didn't want to see those "thank you so much, we'll be in touch" emails anymore. Or worse yet, the "thank you so much, but your application doesn't meet our criteria." Those are the common things that happen. And I get it. It can be really challenging and demoralizing to be navigating that day in, day out. If you're like me, there was a point where I counted how many job applications I put in. Don't do this. I think the number was around 500. But it did tell me something. That and something else I learned became the game-changing moment for my job search strategy and revolutionized my results. When I made my change, I landed a new role in 47 days, and I had 3 job offers to choose from. What if it was actually possible to get these offers in a short amount of time with very few, if any, online applications? I'm here to tell you that it's absolutely possible to get it done like that. Now, I want to share some stats. I had an unemployed client who strategically chose to only do online applications. And because they were unemployed, they had the time to dedicate to that. Because if you've done them, you're probably going to be spending, at least in 45 minutes to an hour, just during the application part. Longer than that, if you are tailoring your resume, which I want you to do when you're writing a cover letter that's going to grab them, you're going to have all that stuff happening, right? So it's going to take a while. Well, this client landed a job very quickly in 40 days. Here are the stats. 125 online applications. 7 of those resulted in an initial interview. 3 of those moved on to additional stages, and there was 1 offer. 1 offer in 125 online applications. That's less than 1% of online applications resulting in an offer. And less than 10%, actually around 5% of those online applications resulted in an interview. These stats are not unique to this client. These are fairly common stats if you do the research. So while I love that this was a strategy that worked, but one of the reasons it worked is because they were unemployed. And they had the time and the energy and, the resilience and the fortitude to make this happen. Now, as months go on and you're doing, an average of 120 applications every month, it does start to wear you down. And that's why if you find yourself in this situation, I want to teach you a better way. And I learned this better way because I was applying to a company for multiple roles. I had the industry experience. I had the skills. Every single thing aligned. But every time I applied, I got the rejection. And I just couldn't figure out why. And I decided, I got to track somebody down in this company. So I tracked down a recruiter. That recruiter looked up my application in their system and said, "Oh, I know exactly why you didn't make it through, because your education didn't align. But I'm looking at your resume and you absolutely meet the job requirements. Your years of experience 100% override what a specific degree or education would have provided. So you know what? I'm going to move your application on to the hiring manager." Now, that wasn't one of the offers I got, because the recruiter was also really honest with me and said, they're in the offer stage with another candidate, but I'm going to move your resume forward anyway, because I can see that you are an awesome candidate for this role. Here's what that taught me. There's stuff that happens when you apply online that you don't know what's going on behind the scenes. And I'm not here to knock applicant tracking systems. I used one in one of my roles. And when you need help sorting and filing and organizing the job search process, I can see where they make a lot of sense for hiring managers and recruiters on that side of the equation. But what I learned as a job seeker is I need to be reaching out to people. And that was a turning point in my job search strategy. And this is what I want to talk to you about today. Reach out to human beings. Now, maybe that online application feels comfortable. It feels like your reason for reaching out. But I want to challenge you that you don't actually need that reason. I stopped applying online and I started looking for people inside the organization. And I'll tell you another little thing. Whenever I made a change, most of the time I was leveraging my experience to elevate my role or make an industry change. So I did not rely on a network so much as oftentimes get talked about. And it certainly works. I'm not against relying on your network either. If you have people inside that organization that you can reach out to, absolutely reach out to them. But you don't have to depend on it. And you don't have to let lack of network or a small following on LinkedIn or small number of connections on LinkedIn to stop you from this strategy. And with all of you who are currently employed and need to job search under the radar, this is especially good for you. So, first of all, give yourself permission to stop relying on online applications. And instead, when you see a role you want to apply to, go to the company page on LinkedIn and search by job title and find a recruiter to reach out to. Send them a connection request. Let them know of your interest. This doesn't have to be weird and salesy. In fact, one of the reasons I love the connection request strategy is because you're limited in character count. You can't get into desperate, graspy, convincing energy and oversell yourself. Say something like, Hi, I found you when I was researching this role and wanted to reach out and let you know of my interest in this job title. Use the specific job title. I'd love to connect and learn more about your goals for the position. Looking forward to it, and then sign off. That's all you need to say. Short, sweet, to the point. The connection request is the CTA. To use marketing terms, it's the call to action. That's all you need. And when they accept, they are showing intent. Another marketing term here. And that connection, that intent, is now your opportunity to follow up with a thank you. Thank you so much for connecting. I look forward to learning more about your exact job title, fill in the blank. In the meantime, I'm attaching my resume for your reference. And now you've got your resume in front of a person. When you do this, the minimum in terms of connection request acceptance percentage my clients are seeing is 25%. That's you getting your resume in front of 1 in 4 people. Isn't that awesome? And it doesn't take that long to find someone. So the amount of time that you will spend in your job search doing it this way is far less than what you'll do in online applications. And it's far more productive. One of the outreaches I did, they were well into their interview process, and they weren't really planning on adding more candidates to the process. But when I reached out and I sent my note and I included my resume, the CEO was the one who had posted the job. I saw that on the job post. Remember to look for that. That's an open invitation to reach out. That CEO got back to me and said, wow, I love what I'm seeing here. Listen, my friends, you have nothing to lose and everything to gain with a direct outreach approach. Give it a try. You don't have to abandon online applications, but at least add this to your approach so that you have a multifaceted approach. Sometimes online applications, lots of direct outreach to recruiters, and then leveraging your network where you can. This is a strategy that will change the game in your job search, that will help you land something fast. It will be stress-free. You won't have rejections and waiting in your face because you've got all these automatic responses in your inbox. All right. Open more doors by pushing on them, being bold, reaching out to the gatekeepers, the people who can move you forward. I'll talk to you next time. If you like listening to this podcast, and you are going to love my program, Job Search Field Guide. This is a unique opportunity. I offer group coaching alongside a 5-step process to help you land a job quickly. So I hope you will join me in Job Search Field Guide. This is going to be revolutionary to your career journey and your job search, and you get lifetime access. So find it at elissashuck-careercoach.com, and I will see you there.